Hello everyone, Please Don't Cry 2 here with you. Thank you guys so much for coming by and checking out another one of my Battlefield Hardline videos. I really do appreciate it. In this video, what I'm actually going to do is the test and the review of the CAR-556. And a huge shout out to Captain 005 for going ahead and suggesting this video. Thank you so much, man. You've been a huge supporter of the channel. I really do appreciate all that you've done for me. Make sure you guys check out in the description below. I'm going to go ahead and put a link to his channel, so make sure you guys go ahead and show him some love there. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the test and review of the CAR-556. So basically with this gun here, the first things that I've noticed with it, obviously you could tell that it doesn't have a stock for it. So let me actually get into some of the attachments here for it. Drop down here to the CAR-556. Now, as you know, I typically will run with a Cobra sight. It's just my preferred sight. Now, you can run with whatever you like to do. Maybe if you wanted to use infrared or something like that, if you prefer that, or whatever sight. I will say that the CAR-556, I do recommend it in closer quarters combat. Now, when I say closer quarters, I don't mean like really close. I mean about medium range is where it shows its true characteristics there, because it's not really a long-range gun, although you can hit people at some good ranges when you do put the heavy barrel on it. It doesn't seem like it does that well because of the damage drop-off. It drops down to 15 at the... I'm not sure what the exact meter range is, but that's the minimum damage it does is 15, and then the max is 25. So I put the armor-piercing rounds on here. You can also go with the laser sight. Obviously, you could put a canted iron sight on there if you wanted to, or canted red dot sight. If you did want to run with that, feel free to, but I think that's only allowed if you actually use a sight that would be farther range, so maybe like a ACOG sight or something like that, okay? So one of these two attachments here is what I'm going to recommend with it. And then as far as the heavy barrel goes, I mean, you could put a heavy barrel on it, a muzzle brake, or a suppressor. Now, obviously, a suppressor is going to be more for your close and quarters. Really, a lot of these reviews that I do with you guys, I kind of go through it on how I play with the gun, but, you know, it's all going to depend on how you guys like and how your gun and play style is. If you're a heavy flanker, if you don't want to show up on that mini-map, then a suppressor is going to be where you're at, especially on a closer quarters map. You definitely want to run with a suppressor because it's just, you know, you can get around the enemy and you could kill 4, 5, 6, or, you know, the whole team if they're not paying attention, something like Nightwoods or something like that. Even though those maps typically are more of a ranged battle, if you do happen to flank around them, you can take quite a bit of them out. And I've had the chance where I've actually knifed, you know, half the team, and I've had some videos of that as well. So a suppressor is always good, but I personally like the heavy barrel because it increases that accuracy, reduces a little bit of that spread with the weapon, and it helps me engage at a little bit longer range than I would be able to if I was to put on maybe a muzzle brake or something like that. Okay, and then we have our grips. We have the angled grip, the stubby grip, and the vertical grip. Okay, the vertical grip is going to help us if we're running around a lot and doing a lot of stuff like that. Stubby grip is going to help us if in our automatic fire, and our angled grip is going to help us with our first shot initial vertical recoil. So this is my preferred. It's going to be the either the armor-piercing rounds or what have you. Now, a lot of times I'm running on Team Deathmatch. I do run quite a bit also in some of the other maps. And it looks like this match is almost over, unfortunately, so I'll probably go ahead and continue this on Riptide, which is the next map here. But I just want to show you real quick while I've got an instance here. Oh, there's so many! Dang it. That it does actually work quite well. So, one of the things that I will say with this gun is its rate of fire isn't amazing. So, as far as its real close quarters, you don't really want it to be too close, okay? Just because of the fact that, you know, if you have somebody that has a F2000 or something with even a G18C, which is the sidearm for the professional class, it's going to be a little bit difficult. But I'm going to go ahead and wait till we get into this next match here to go ahead and talk about this a little bit more, so I'll see you guys here in a second. Alright, we're back in the game here. Now, with this CAR-556, like I said just recently, the rate of fire is about 700 rounds per minute. So, it's not going to be great, or really great, especially if you're running with a heavy barrel in really close quarters. If you are running in more close quarters, I would definitely recommend putting a muzzle brake on it, or the suppressor. Just so that way you can get those added benefits there. The suppressor is going to help a little bit with that spread. couldn't switch to my sidearm fast enough. But not quite as much as if you were to have a muzzle brake on there. Alright, but the big thing with a suppressor is that when you suppress your weapon, and I'll actually go ahead and put the suppressor on here just so I can show you guys as I'm talking to you. When you suppress your weapon, the biggest thing that you're doing is you're reducing your range of that weapon. That muzzle velocity is reduced, and what ends up happening is your bullet drop-off happens faster. And not only that, but you're also going to have to lead your target more. So if we have a target that's running, and I have to kind of, shoot in front of him a little bit or shoot above his head, you're going to have to compensate more because of that suppressor there. Let's see if we can actually get into some enemies here, because it seems like everybody's still probably spawning in here because it is the beginning of the map. Or beginning of the match, I should say. Let's get into some house here. So this is kind of like where I would recommend using this. Let's see if we can do it without dying here. Okay, some stuff like that. That's where it's really going to shine with Suppressor. Because now, if anybody else is in here, they have no idea where I am, and I can just continue to run around in circles. Let's give that guy some health. Now, it looks like they're all up on the roof here. I'm reading the minimap correctly, except for that guy. Nope, they're below me. Alright, let's get back inside here before I get shot in the back. Switch to that G17, just because I want to reload. Now, this thing does have a really large clip to it, or magazine, if you will. It's not really a clip. It has a large magazine, so the good thing about that is you have 41 rounds. Unfortunately, my brain has been trained to, as soon as I get a kill, I go ahead and reload, and that kind of messes me over, especially if I'm running with something with a larger magazine. There's no real reason to, but, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. So if you do run with this gun a little bit more, that's one thing that I would definitely keep in mind, is it does have that larger magazine, which sometimes you actually need, because if you're engaging somebody at a little bit more of a range, it seems like that spread, you know, I definitely recommend starting to burst fire with it when you start engaging targets at a little bit more range, because it does seem to kind of deviate from the target. Oh, he got me. Nice work there with that immediate payback. Good job. Let's see here. So that's what it's going to be like with the suppressor. Let me go ahead and put a muzzle brake on it for you. Let's do this. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a vertical grip on it. Okay? Now, the vertical grip, what this is really going to help with, as I said before, is it's really going to help with if you're doing a lot of running and gunning. Now, I personally haven't seen some of the great benefits of having a vertical grip on versus having, you know, more of a stubby grip, because the fact is you're most likely going to be going automatic fire with it even though you're running around. So it's supposed to help reduce the accuracy penalty when you're running. So if you're moving around and doing whatever, it's going to help with that, which I almost always do. Oh, where'd he go? Where'd he go? There he is. Oh, there's another one. Throw a med pack. Okay, Dangerous Dave got him. Nice work, man. Oh, goodbye. One of the other really good benefits of this CAR-556, and I think it's definitely worth mentioning, is that it is available for both classes. Now, I mean both sides. So, criminals, cops, undercover thieves, whatever you want to call them, you can use this gun for both. So if you are, you know, really liking this gun and you want to use it, you don't have to worry about getting a weapon license for it because it is available for both sides. So that is a huge benefit to using this gun. Now, the CAR-556 I don't believe was actually a vanilla gun. I do believe it did come out with, I wouldn't say a DLC, but it did come out with a upgrade pack, and I'm not 100% sure what that one is. So I probably shouldn't even have mentioned it. Oh, why am I shooting sometimes I press left on the D-pad and it doesn't actually switch to my revive, and then I end up shooting my teammate like, ah ha ha ha, you died. I don't know. But my preferred, like I said, loadout for this gun, as you can see, that muzzle brake is really helping around with that bouncing and stuff once we do get to that automatic fire. But like I said, my preferred loadout for this gun, just because I like to engage my targets at a little bit more of a range, is going to be that heavy barrel. I like to put the stubby grip on it because it doesn't really feel like it has that first shot initial burst recoil. See, like right there, we kind of lost a bit of our accuracy because we're a little bit more ranged than what I would typically use a muzzle brake for. But like in that range there, that's where the muzzle brake was really going to shine. But like I said, as far as the angled grip goes, I don't really put an angled grip on this because you don't have that first shot initial burst recoil that you would be working with something else. And see that range there when we're running with a muzzle brake? I mean, granted, I am tap firing it with it a little bit, but really when you get into the range like that, you don't want to go automatic because your rounds are going to start going all over the place. It doesn't matter what gun you're using. All guns will have a effect. As the more bullets that you're going to be shooting out, that gun's going to be bouncing all over. It doesn't matter what gun you're using. Some guns obviously have less, and that's why they're a little bit more accurate and maybe ranged or with automatic fire and things like that. But you always want to try to compensate, your recoil a little bit by maybe adjusting your aim, stopping your fire, and readjusting. And that, you'll see that with people in real life and obviously in game. So that's one of the really great things about Battlefield that I like, is that it does have that real life aspect to it a bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my custom class on here. This is the one that I just went ahead and put. Is this it? The heavy barrel grip. Let's see, is this the color? Yeah, that's it. Okay, this is one of my custom camos here that I really like. And this one, oop, I don't think I'm actually gonna get anybody because they're all over there. Nice spawn. But this one I actually really like. I like that camo because it's got that nice lime green to it. But I went ahead and adjusted the Cobra sight, and that's why I really like to run with the custom loadouts, is because you can adjust your sight to whatever you want. Now, granted, with a heavy barrel, you are going to be doing a little bit better accuracy over range, but the biggest thing with this gun is you have a significant damage drop-off. So maybe, the CAR-556 might be a little bit better in that, medium range, like I said earlier. I mean, that's going to be its preferred distance, is that medium range, maybe about 30 meters or so. And the big reason for that is because of that damage drop-off is one, and two, well, no matter what attachment you use on it, whether the muzzle brake, whether the heavy barrel, things like that, it's really going to just help that gun shine. I mean, when you see a gun that doesn't have a stock on it and is ran like this, I mean, you can really tell that it wasn't designed to be a ranged weapon. Ooh, that shotgun to the face. Let me see if I can run around and maybe get a little bit more of a spree with this thing. I almost was liking it a little bit more with the muzzle brake on it than the heavy barrel, but that could just be the way it is right now. When I run with the armor piercing rounds and I'm doing something like either hot wire or a conquest match, that's when the heavy barrel really starts to shine. Because a lot of times in team deathmatch, especially if you're using a gun like this, you end up being in a little bit of more closer quarters. And there's really no choice to the matter, it just kind of is what it is. Let's get to see if we can get this guy here. Oh man, he's a feisty little bastard, isn't he? Oh, I got hit by. I thought he'd kill me. No, but I got hit by a sniper. So, let's see if we can get one more little kill streak here before we run off. I think I'm gonna run right into the house. As long as I'm shot in the back immediately. Let's see if we can make it to the house here. Right in the head. And that's where it's really going to shine with that heavy barrel. Like I said, you're still going to want to tap fire a little bit with it just to kind of adjust and make sure you're not deviating too much from your, initial target. But really, you're going to need to do that with any gun. It just is what it is. Where are we at here? They're all out in the fields. It seems like they're up on the roof, maybe. Come on, baby, baby! Oh, they're all right there. Shit. He got me. He got me. Well, that is the CAR-556 in a nutshell. Like I said, it's probably a medium range gun. Recommended things are either the heavy barrel, maybe with more of a conquest, or things like that. In TDM, it seemed like I did a little bit better with a muzzle brake or a suppressor, depending on how you like to run around. If you're, running around right real close to them, I mean, the suppressor's effects or negative effects aren't going to affect you too much, so maybe run with a suppressor. Muzzle brake is going to help with a little bit of a closer to medium range, and then obviously the heavy barrel is going to help with your accuracy and things like that when you get into like the more of a medium range. As far as the long range, this gun doesn't have the stopping power nor the accuracy to really hit at that longer range. So I don't really recommend it. If you are getting engagements at that longer range, try to flank around, try to do something like that. But that is all for the CAR-556. Thank you guys so much for watching. Another huge shout out to Captain 005. Thank you so much for your support and suggesting this video. Make sure you guys check him out in the description below. Also, if you guys did like this video, if it helped you at all, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. It does help out a lot. Also, subscribe for more wonderful Battlefield Hardline videos like this. I hope to see you guys out on the battlefield. Feel free to let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of the review. If you use this gun, if you don't think it's a good gun, if you've never used it, if you plan on using it, all those things. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Doop doop.